Hey, what's up, turtles? It's Krik here with Condor Outdoors, and today I'm going to be doing an overview of the Condor Outdoor 160 Venture Backpack. Now, what this overview means is I've had the product for a little bit. I've done some limited testing with it. This is basically my sort of preliminary, basic overview as opposed to a review where the product's been tested more thoroughly in a longer period of time. Getting into the pack. This is the 160 Venture Pack. It is constructed out of 1000D. You can find it online for about 75, 80 American dollars, and this is the tan color option. It's 27.5 liter volume. Now just getting into the details of the pack. On each side, we have a series of webbing, some sewn in the middle, some with a larger width. No water bottle pockets on this pack. 2 compression straps, one here, that attaches to this marsupial style pocket on the front. Each side is mirrored, same webbing, compression straps. On the top of the pack, grab handle here. We have a small zipper entry, which allows to get into the main compartment and be able to slide down into the laptop compartment. And I'll show that once I get into the main compartment of the bag, but this is just the top. I just want to show the top. And then you have obviously the top zipper here into the main compartment. The bottom of the pack, you have a grommet here in the main compartment, not the main compartment, the admin pouch. And 4 pieces of nylon here that if you wanted to attach straps, butt pack, sleeping bag, ground tarp, anything underneath the pack you can. The front of the bag has a pocket up here, which is fleece lined. I have nothing in it right now. This is where I'd put my cell phone, pair of sunglasses, GPS, anything that I don't want scratched that has a sensitive surface. Right here's this hook and loop for patches, name tape. And what's nice is this actually comes with the second part of this. So if you do have a patch, you could sew this on and you're good to go. On the front of this marsupial style pocket, there's a bunch of webbing on the front here. I just have a carabiner threaded through like as you see. A small stash pocket right here. You can see my hand getting in. I just have some food bars in it right now. And this pocket runs the whole size. My hand is down here in the pocket, so it's the length of here. Down here, my fingers are still moving. Into the admin pouch. Just various places to put small sorts of items. Little shock cord here if you want to put something up that stretches out and continues up here. Sort of tie it down with that. Some places to thread some pens, pencils, small sharpener, lighter, zipper mesh pocket, small compass in there right now. I do want to mention actually this pocket right here will fit an Altoids container in that size of container really well. There was one in here, it's not in here right now, but I know it fits. And back behind this, just a sort of smaller stash pocket, kerchief, some chamois material. This will actually take a spark. You can open this up, pull some of these fibers out, and this will take a spark. Fit a notebook back there. But as admin pouches go, this is definitely not a bad one at all. And a little key holder right here. Now this is part of the marsupial pocket. And right now I just have a ground tarp sort of stashed behind it. But this is really cool, great for putting an extra layer, a wet layer, ground tarp, anything you could use your imagination. And on the side of here, let me undo the compression strap. For this to stretch, there is some elastic in here, which is keeping this sewn to the bag so it just doesn't flop over. There is some, this is to add a little bit of structural integrity to this. Right here, you can see the force I'm pulling on it. This will pull. And behind this sort of marsupial pocket is another zippered pocket that this would be if you wanted to have a concealed carry. You can see the little part of the hook and loop system in there for a holster. This is where your concealed carry would go. Moving on to the back, shoulder straps, adjustable sternum strap right here. Quick release buckles on the bottom of each shoulder strap if you want to drop your pack pretty quick. Generous padding on the back here for the shoulder blades. My hands are tracing right here. A very, again, generously padding lumbar pad down here where my hand is touching. And a little bit of sort of sticky rubberized material down here to keep this on the lumbar swell of your back as you're moving, as opposed to this material right down here I'm tracing. The hip belts are detachable. It's just a hook and loop underneath here. And the buckle in the front here. And you have some webbing on the hip belt. Now this does have a frame, and that is actually right here against here. This does have a frame in the pack, and to get into it and see it, this zipper pocket, excuse me, doubles as where you'd put your hydration reservoir. You can see right here, this is what I'm touching right here, is just some fastening points to hang your reservoir or bladder, whatever you choose to call it. And then right here is where you'd thread your hose through, some hook and loop. And then depending which side, you're left or right, where you'd want it to come out, that's where that takes place. And the frame is right in here. You can see it. This is the part. Some plastic. And I'm not sure what this material, this stay in here is. This runs the length of this sort of plastic plate, is the size of sort of this back panel. I'll turn it around and show you. A piece of this plastic actually goes down pretty far. Runs down here. I'm not sure what the material of the stay is. I couldn't find out, and it's not visible. But nonetheless, this does have a frame, which I like on pretty much any type of pack. I'm a huge fan of having it framed. Just holds the weight better personally for me, and I just like how it feels. Getting into the main compartment, undo all the compression straps. Open this up because it does clamshell. Or excuse me, I'm going to lay it down, which is really nice to get into it and really help organize clamshell features on packs. Let's have a wool blanket in here, hammock, straps, and just a small type kit deal. And then on each opposing side of the main compartment, you have 2 zipper mesh pockets, pair of work gloves in here. Nothing in this one right now. And then this is the pocket, or excuse me, the sleeve for the laptop right here. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit of padding, not much, but there is more than just nothing. A small stash pocket here at this nylon. I just have Corona saw flexing in there right now. And while there's nothing in here, I'll show you that second laptop axis, that zipper I was talking about before. Is that when you unzipper this, you can get down in here, and that opens up right on the back of the bag. You can get right down in and grab the laptop and slide it in and out without fussing around with anything else you have packed in the bag. Cool little feature. I haven't seen that before on packs. Now that's the ins and outs of the bag. So I'm going to offer now my feelings and my impressions of this pack in the time I've had it and Stony's had it, and you know, our collective thoughts on this pack. First of all, for the price, it's not a bad pack at all. The 1000D for around 75, 80 bucks, it's not bad. You don't need to spend the most amount of money, $300 on a day pack, to get out there and just do what you need to do. Now, is there some quality lacking in this pack that's noticeable? Absolutely, and I'm going to point that stuff out right now. First thing I notice that I look for in packs is how the shoulder straps are attached to the bag, because that's a huge stress point on packs. And you can see right here, you have this part of the shoulder strap from this bar tack right here coming up, and it's sort of hemmed over, and you can already see a little bit of the thread coming through here, the seam pulling on itself. This would not be the strongest way I would attach a shoulder strap to a bag. Under here, it's fine, it's coming running inside the pack. I'm not an issue with this, but the way this top is attached, I'd be really hesitant to load this very, very heavy continually days on end, because I'm just not sure how this seam will hold up. And on the other shoulder strap as well, the same thing is happening. Now, I don't feel like this is pulling apart, but this exposed thread, that shouldn't be there. If there's a seam there, you know, it's just a little bit, like I said, the small things in quality with this pack that I'm going to notice. We'll see how this holds up in time. Do a review of it as I had a chance to use it more, load it up, test it out, all that good stuff. Another thing I do actually like about this pack as a nice feature is the covered tracks on all the zippers. And what that means is the coil of the zipper. This is a coiled zipper. But what that means is the zipper track is covered with a piece of fabric. Because there's no flap over the zipper track, it's very nice to have some sort of fabric sort of taped over the zipper. And this is how things are waterproof. This is not waterproof. That's a poly sort of tape on top of a zipper track. But nonetheless, it is present on all the zippers, which is a nice little feature to see on a pack for 75 bucks. One thing that I've been kind of annoys me with this pack is this buckle. It's the right size, where it should be, I think, in proportion to the size of the hip belt and the pack. But it feels just a little cheap. The plastic, I've had a few times. You see right there, I'm trying to loosen this up, and it just doesn't want to, that nylon doesn't want to go through there. I've had a few times where this just it hasn't been a smooth transition. Just be a little bit more mindful with it. But when I'm cinching on a pack, I like to be able to get it tight. And sometimes with this, it's not that easy for me to pull it. Now maybe that's going to take time to sort of wear this nylon in, and then it'll be easier to cinch. But straight out of the bag, it was just a little bit tight, and I couldn't really get it cinched tight to me. Now, one thing I really do like about this pack is the way the hip belt is pivoted in a sort of really the center point in my back on my lumbar. If you follow the hip belt around my waist, it's not attached to the bag right here, where my hands are running, which a lot of hip belts are. It continues on my body and is attached right at sort of the center point of my lumbar at the lower part of my back, right above my tailbone. And what that does, that's sort of a feature that's seen in my Gregory pack, my Balturo, and that's sort of a feature that really allows me to articulate, and I can feel the pack move on my back by having the hip belt at a center point in the middle of my back, as opposed to, like I mentioned before, attached not on the center, more on the side of the bag. Now maybe that was subtle, you couldn't really, or the camera wasn't really picking up the point I was trying to make about, because it's attached in the center, that you can see the articulation being able to occur because it's attached there, but it is something that's real, and I feel it when I wear the pack. And if you watch any of my other pack videos, I'm a huge proponent on a pack has to be comfortable before any features before any features are considered. And that's just a personal thing for me. If a pack's not comfortable, I don't want to wear it. I don't care how great it is. And for this pack, it's definitely a comfortable fit for my body type. I'm about 165 pounds, 5 feet 9 inches. The shoulder straps are comfortable. The weight feels, you know, pretty good. There's no compression straps attached to the bag and the shoulder strap that you see a lot. But nonetheless, I still feel like I have a solid fit because of this frame. Just the way the pack's designed fits my body really well. So it's a thumbs up for me. So my overall impressions of this pack is I'm pretty darn impressed with the features for the price. And it's all about that, finding that balance for me is about the features offered and the price point. And for $75, right around $75, $80, depending where you can pick it up from, this is a pretty darn good pack, and I would recommend this for someone who wants to get in to the outdoors, sort of likes this style of pack, doesn't want to invest a lot of money on these other companies that are charging a lot of money for their packs. Not saying they're not worth it, but for just getting started for $80 for literally for this pack, I think it's a really good sign for the market that there are things available that you don't have to spend $200, $300 on a 27-liter tactical 1000D Condor style bag. The jury's still out on how this is going to hold up over time. Some of the things I mentioned, that's just going to have to wait and see. You're going to have to stay tuned for the review. Hope the video is informative. If you've used this pack, know anyone that has, know anything about Condor, please leave a comment. Again, remember to check out blackoutdoors.com. Check us out on Facebook. Check out our Instagram, all that stuff. This is Krik signing out with Black Outdoors. Later, turtles.